Hi, Red is live. I already shared it out. I have one watching. Wait, I'm echoing. I'm echoing. Wait. How's everybody doing? I'm gonna light my candle. Red's followers are called flames. And I'm gonna make my prayer list as people come in. Gonna write your name down. Got my candle. Got my matches. Happy Friday. We're going to talk about anger. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Yep, its followers are called flames, so that's why I light the candle. I'm gonna play you a little something on my flute. I still need to polish my flute. It's very tarnished. Very tarnished. I have this tea again. I'm gonna take my tea bag out. This yogi tea has little sayings on the tea bag thing, and it says, "Be kind to yourself." I like that. Yes, I get angry, and I get angry with myself a lot. I do. I get angry at other people. I get angry at myself. But I don't always express it. Sometimes I hold it in, and holding it in is not healthy. So let me read you this thing where I got the title from, called Anger is a River. I've read this on my live before. I'm going to read this. I'm going to read this off of, you know what I want to read it off of? I'm going to read it off of Facebook. Anger is a river. It wants to be released into the vaster ocean. It wants to move naturally. When we repress it with premature forgiveness, block it with false positivity, suppress it in the name of pseudo peace, we dam our natural flow. The river then turns inward against the self, or explodes outwardly against innocence. Better we express it when it arises, not in a way that is destructive to humanity, but in a way that is authentic and that restores the integrity of our being. Anger isn't the enemy. Misplaced anger is. Let the river flow. Hey, is there anybody out there? Hello, hello, hello. It's Friday. Red is live. So my Monday Night Live started out this way. So I won't be discouraged this time about it because that live went to twice as many. I usually get like 55 views on a live, and that live is at like 120 now. Let me see. What is it at? So it's higher than all my recent lives, except for my live with Lindy. My live with Lindy did really well too, but that was my live with Lindy, Yeah, it's at 123 now, which is twice as many views as I usually get. So I was encouraged by that. And it started out like this. I didn't have anybody coming in yet. So I put it on subscribers only, but I think only for like a minute, for like maybe 5 minutes. I don't know. Let me see. What did I put it on? 5 minutes. Yeah. So if you're not subscribed and you want to chat in the chat, just subscribe, and in 5 minutes you'll be able to chat. That's what that means. Okay. Thank you all for being here. I will, let's see. I should have tried to think of, I kind of decide hey, yeah, and sub only for 5 minutes though. How are you, Bren? So have you heard that thing? It's funny. I heard, I like the comedian, Shonda Pierce. Yeah, they might not be subscribed. I don't know. If you want, well, if you don't want, you don't have to. Maybe you don't want to chat in the chat. Maybe that's why you're not chatting in the chat. That's fine. But you're welcome to chat in the chat, and you're welcome to not chat in the chat. So that's fine. You're too old for oh, you're not old. You should come here. It's not too bad usually. Although I have had my air on lately. I had my air on today for a little bit. But I'm not usually having it on. It is 87. It got up to 95, but it's getting down to 63 tonight. So yeah. Yeah, 87. So it's pretty hot, but it doesn't usually get in the triple digits here. Not very much. Making my list. Okay. Yeah, so I haven't even. Yeah, that's pretty hot. Yeah. But yeah, so it's getting. I'm turning on my air a little bit more often, but I've not been running it so much. When I have the electric bill that's big, it's in the winter because I'm very, I like it warm. I'm from Southern California and, South Florida, Middle Georgia. So I'm used to it warm. But, so yeah, this winter, I probably should be getting better this winter and probably will, because I was at the heat at like 70. And I know people that oh goodness, I had this Airbnb guest who was so annoying, and she wanted me to set it at something ridiculous like 65 degrees or something that for the AC, and I'm just like no. It was so ridiculous. I couldn't even. I set it lower, but I usually have the AC at like 78. So that's why I don't have to turn it on that much, you know. It got up to like 82 today, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit warm in here. Let me let me turn it on for a little bit. So, but yeah, have you heard the saying that depression, and this is what I was getting at with Conda Pierce, depression is anger turned inward? So let me see if I can find that clip. It's really funny. Conda Pierce is really funny, and she does this one. She wrote a book that I read called Laughing in the Dark, because she went through a depression. And so she says, "Stop telling me I'm angry. You're making me angry." So it's funny. There's a bunch of life's not always funny. Oh, they have a movie. Laughing in the Dark. The heart of the movie. Did they make a movie? I need to see it if they made a movie. It was an old one, but I don't know. I put it on my full-length movie. Okay, Laughing in the Dark, full movie, 2015. Yeah, I want to see that. But anyways, that's what she said. I can't find the specific clip. Hi above always. Oh, you guys all came in when I was looking away. Hi above always. 61. Oh my goodness, that's so cold. That must be what that lady wanted it on. Hi Mary. Let me write your names down. Above always. Have you told me your name? If you don't mind, can you tell me your name? You don't have to, though, if you don't want to. I'll just say above always. Thank you for being here. You have an outhouse? Oh, Christina. Hey. Hey, Christina. Thank you for being here. Okay. So yeah, I shared on my community tab interview where Aurora talks about her song The River. And so that's what really started with I was going to talk about red flags tonight, but I'll probably do that on Monday. So I changed my mind and I decided to keep talking about emotions and talking about anger and so I was going to tell you guys a couple stories, and it was just God. When I was away from God, he was like wooing me back, he was wooing me back to him. And I told this, I'll tell you two stories from 2020, from when I was traveling in my RV. So to review, let's review, kids. Okay. I was in Georgia and I raised my 5 kids in Georgia with my husband. We were married 27 years when we separated, and then the divorce took 4.5 years. And so we were divorced. I moved out of the house in 2016, and we were divorced finally in 2018. I was doing Airbnb at that time. I did that for 2 years. That was the only job I could find. I couldn't find a job. So I was doing Airbnb. I was donating blood plasma. I was driving for Lyft. So that's what I was doing because I couldn't find a regular job. And then in 2020, I sold my house, and that was in August. And then September, I left Georgia. October, I bought my RV. This is all in 2020 during the pandemic. And then in November at Thanksgiving, I left in my RV and went to Denver. Then I went to Moab. Then I went to Flagstaff. I went to see my niece. And I was headed to California. And I wanted to settle in San Diego. I was thinking about. And my dad had not been doing well. And I tried to get out there before he passed, but he passed the night before I left Georgia. It was kind of a bittersweet thing because my dad was narcissistic and bipolar, and we had a difficult relationship, and my mom kind of helped us to stay connected. You know, my mom was like our connection, and then she passed away in 2009, so it was very difficult after that. And then he got with my stepmother, and they didn't marry legally, so she would still get her Social Security, and he didn't have to change his will, and she didn't have to change her will. And so, but they live together. It's kind of my family, so dysfunctional, kind of opposite of my in-laws. They're like legally still married, but they're separated because the same thing. They don't want to complicate things, and split up the money and all of that. And now they're pretty old. They're like 12 years younger than my parents. Now my parents are both passed on to heaven. And so, but anyway, so I ended up in California, and this was the first thing that I really felt was God. I was just like, wow, what's the timing of this? And so my sister-in-law was in the final stages of breast cancer. It had gotten into her like bones. I don't remember all the places. She was in stage 4 for a long time, though, and she was very thin. And I didn't even know, like, right after Thanksgiving. Hey, Glenn! Right after Thanksgiving, she had gone in the hospital too. They didn't tell me that, and then I got there after Thanksgiving. And making a list, checking it twice. Oh. Gonna find out who's naughty and nice. So I don't have to go all the way back through the chat. So I'm writing people's names down to pray. And you guys tell me if you have any prayer requests. So. Oh, so Mary was saying she has an outhouse, and Bren has an outhouse. You guys, wow! But you have a bathroom in the house too, right? Or what? Oh, it's 105 in Carmen. Yikes! That's hot. That is hot. So I ended up in Southern California around the 10th of December. I got there. And my sister-in-law, Joyce, was just always a fighter. I feel like she had such a positive attitude. That's why she she had it. She first came down with the breast cancer in 1991, and then so it was 30 years. So you're looking for a house and they're hard to find here. Oh, yes, me too. And I've been like going back and forth, like, where am I going to go to? But my rent is a lot. So I'm really feeling I need to move. And yeah, but it's not until February. I'm kind of thankful to be here for now and have that time. I'm really praying and was deciding between Pennsylvania or staying here, or I've even considered going back to Georgia, but I'm really leaning towards I'm probably going to stay here. So I might look for a place to buy here. I really like it here, and I'm starting to make friends, and I found a church I like. I liked the other church, but now I like this church I'm going to now that's more universal, more like what my beliefs are, closer to my beliefs. And so I'm really leaning towards staying here right now, but I don't know. I still have 6 months to pray and decide. Oh, yeah, it's kind of not a great time to move here. But one of my options is doing van life again, but I'd want a new, oh, wow. No water, so you have to bring in water. You have an indoor bathroom, but no septic. Yeah, we'll pray about that. Okay. So you have to get water brought in and do an outhouse. Yeah, I feel like God will lead me. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely do. Yeah, I really like it here. It's really beautiful. I just posted a video where I went hiking on Tuesday. Let me see, how's that doing? Oh, one view, one view. Is that right? You guys, I gotta post my videos. Let me do that. Let me post them in the chat or whatever. Post my shorts. I don't think that's probably right. Let me see what it says on my computer. Yeah, it does. It says one view and one view. I showed you part of this video on where I fell. But there's more so that you can see the scenery. My hike on Tuesday. Okay, happy caulking, Mary. Happy caulking. And then I posted the video of my my breakfast overnight casserole. Breakfast. And if you go to it, it will take you out of this live. So maybe don't go to it if you're on a phone. But it will take you out of the live. But please come back if you go look at the video. It's only a minute long. Well, maybe it was you, Glenn. Maybe you're the one view. Thanks, Glenn. Oh, it's not connecting. What's it doing? Let me post it on my community tab. And I ate breakfast at like noon, but I ate this, for lunch or dinner because I don't usually eat breakfast. So the breakfast overnight. And it's not going. Can you guys hear me and see me? It's saying my connection is not. Let me see. Huh, that's weird. Having trouble connecting. Check your internet connection. That's cool. That's why you told Lindy if ever she wants to park on my property, she would have a potty and sink available as well as electric hookup. Cool. Connection's still good. Okay. It's just, it didn't take my link to, that's funny though. It's here. It's here. It didn't take it twice. I didn't mean to do it twice. I might have by accident though, but it didn't take it the second time. Yep. So let me find a poem to say for y'all. But so yeah. So I ended up in California and taking care of helping with my sister-in-law, and I was in my RV on my brother's property at his smaller property where my nephew was living. And I got kind of, thank you for telling me. Thank you for telling me. Maybe I posted them too quickly. That's probably what happened. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think you're right. So yeah, the first thing that happened, and I shared this in a video about how the music led me back to God, because it was a need to be, a very special song for me is the Need to Breathe song, Keep Your Eyes Open. And especially, before I went away from God, and like some of the, and I was away from God at this time. So it was very weird. It was very, and my brother and I were, and 2020 was a presidential, year. So, and so there was that, and that my brother didn't approve that I was away from God either. And that's understandable, but he said, before he said I was a godsend to be there to help and all of that. And I was there for Christmas, and oh wow, I didn't know there was Taylor Swift. I should know. I'm a Swiftie. But this song was just like so appropriate. So I was buying them groceries. I was cooking for them. And hey, Brenda, hi. Hi, thank you for being here. Good to see you. So, yeah, I was cooking for them. I was buying groceries. I usually wouldn't, I wouldn't even ask them to, pay me for the groceries. I was just paying for the groceries. And I was cooking, yet I cooked a prime rib for Christmas. I was so nervous about it because my brother did buy the prime rib. But when I bought the groceries for what I cooked, I just paid for the groceries. I just got whatever they had put on the list, and Joyce wasn't eating a whole lot, and she was very thin, and so and one day I got really stressed one day because my sister-in-law was like my best friend, I said, but she was very bossy. I'll just say she was very bossy. I think her kids would agree with me. That's my reminder to pray for my children. Dear Lord, please bless all our children and our grandchildren. I thank you for them. I pray that you would be with them and guide them and protect them. And I pray that they would know that you love them. And I pray that they would know that we love them. Lord, I pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, back to my story. So one evening, my brother worked a lot. He's on the LAPD, and one day, Joyce, at the end, she was on hospice, but when she went in the hospital last time and came back, she was home on hospice. That was after Christmas. But before that, one day she sent me, and she was on oxygen 24/7. And my mom was on that before she passed too. So it's familiar with the machine. And my mom came to see us in 2001. And it was the last time my dad drove across the country. You'd have to pick up the oxygen at the places, and they came to see our house, which my husband started in 1999. We moved in 2001. It's still not done. He's been building this house for 20 some years, but I don't think it's still not complete. But anyways, my parents came in, they picked up the oxygen on the way. And so Joyce was on oxygen. And so this one day she's like, I need a potty chair, a potty thing. Because she was having more trouble. And she was telling me, go to the Walgreens. And I didn't want to leave her, because like when she went in the hospital last time, she had her friend with her who called the ambulance because she was, I'm trying to think I think she had congestive heart failure then. But anyways, so I didn't really think it was safe to leave her alone. I didn't want to leave her alone, but she insisted I go to Walgreens and get her this potty chair. So me being, I was talking to someone recently, and they were saying, they were talking about people who are hard to get along with. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, no, I don't really think that's me. I'm too much of a people pleaser and codependent, and I'm just like, so I listened to her, and I felt so, I don't, and maybe I had a foreboding or something, but when I came back, the oxygen machine was beeping. She's like, it's been beeping since you left. And she was just like, she couldn't do anything. And it was just, so got stressed. And it was funny because then I'm thinking back on me, and like I said, I was away from God. I didn't have good coping skills. I was still bitter and angry. And then, but on the other hand, my candidate had won. and you know, aside from his wife being ill and not well, my brother wasn't happy about how the election went. So when I got stressed too, I got on online dating. I didn't really go on any dates though, and I didn't meet anybody. I didn't hook up with anybody either. I was busy taking care of my sister-in-law. And so it was stressful. So one day I was at the grocery store and my song comes on. I just started weeping. And so like, here are some of the words. If you could soldier on headstrong into the storm, I'll be waiting on the other side. So, and this is a song from before when I was not away from God, when I was with God and I hadn't heard it in forever. And for it to come on at the Albertsons, it just, you know, to me, it was God, you know. People say like coincidence or whatever, you know, and I was away from God and I was mad and I was, you know, pissed off. I was pissed off. I was angry. Okay, let's just say it. I was angry. Oh, here's a funny, I'm going to give you a funny clip. You seen the movie Enchanted? She's like, I'm angry. I'm angry. It's an unpleasant emotion. Have you heard of it? So if you could soldier on headstrong into the storm, I'll be waiting on the other side. Don't look back. The road is long. The first days of the war are gone. Take back your former throne and turn the tide. Because if you never leave home, never let go, you'll never make it into the great unknown till you keep your eyes open, my love. You tell me you're strong. You tell me you see. I need to hear it. Can you promise me? And it's just like, don't let the night become the day. Don't take the darkness to the grave. I know the pain is just a place. The will has been broken. Don't let the fear become the hate. Don't take the sadness to the grave. I know the fight is on the way when the sides have been chosen. So, like, when that song came on, I was just like, whoa. Hey, Diana, how are you? Hi, I was just thinking about you. How's it going? I'm making a prayer list. So good to see you. I wanted to thank, and you're going to remind me. I'm like, I need to turn my thing this way so you can see. This is Diana's painting, and I wanted to get it because I love it. She, you know, she has the red hair and stuff, and she's the warrioress of love. Did I say that right? I think I said that right. And my granddaughter Freya has red hair, and it's really light, like strawberry blonde, like mine here. That looks blonde. Her hair is like that, and I'm too there. I'm about to, but so Freya's hair is red, and she is named for the goddess of war and love. And I was like, hey, that's Freya. So, and she painted it, and I went to her, and she lives near my daughter too. So I went to her art show, and this was in the art show. I went last year in the May. So May last year, I drove both times I went to Philly. That's like 6,000 miles, you guys, from here to Philly and back twice is like 6,000 miles. So we're thinking of each other. Okay. That's cool. So yeah. So this Freya, and I thought, like, I want that painting. And so I bought the paint. This is one of my many splurges, like too many. Not as bad as my Europe splurge though, but this was one of my splurges from the money from my dad. So thank you, Dad. And I'm gonna put it in my will to, though you don't do a will, you do a living trust. This is what I learned from my dad. I'm gonna leave it to Freya when I pass on. So yeah, that's the story of the painting that I needed to tell you. Now, back to my other story and how I ended up at the river. So Joyce passed on the 9th of January. Yeah. And like I did a video. I'll put the video in the chat. That's from my brother's house. I want to share though. Let me see. The Keep Your Eyes Open song. I'll put that in the chat. So, and it turns out like I had heard it. It's a wonder I didn't hear it sooner. But the Keep Your Eyes Open song was on a tape or a CD that they played frequently at the Albertsons, because I heard it again. It was on a loop, but it was unusual for you to hear, because it's actually a Christian song that's on Christian radio and stuff. I want to keep. I need to keep my. Let me try to keep my thing this way so you can see Freya. It's just I'm kind of cockeyed. I feel weird. So then drop the link to your channel. You can drop the link to your channel because you're a moderator. You can drop the link to your channel too, Brenda. Mods, you can drop the link to your channel anytime. Yeah, you can even drop your Facebook page. Go ahead, Dinah. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it like it's hot. Oh, here's a card right here. Here's a card from. I did a little video with your cards. I don't think you saw. Let me drop that in the chat too, because I did a little video with the cards from Diana. Let me show you. My shorts been getting like 400. Most of them have been getting like 400 and up views, except for like All You Need Is Love, sung at church, that didn't get it. And then the one of Dinah's cards, I don't know, the elephant at this Denver Zoo got 435. Well, 372, my grilling chicken. But I did one, and you might be a narcissist if that didn't get that many. My lasagna, cooking my lasagna didn't get that many. And then the one with the cards, okay, here it is. It's only got 16 views. I don't know why. I'm going to share it. Wait. Okay. the cards I get from Diana. I am cutting back on some memberships, but probably not yours, Diana. I'm probably going to keep Lindy's membership, but I'm cutting back. I've been cutting back a little bit. I had more memberships, and then like some channels I'm a member of Alyssa Vanilla, and I don't go over there anymore. And then I'm cutting back some too. Thank you for dropping your link. Yeah, I'm trying to save money, and I need to start. I'm chilling right now, but I probably need to start driving for Lyft soon. I might start babysitting. That's what I'm thinking. Like, a lot of people have little kids around here, and I would love to see my grandbabies more, but I usually only go see them twice a year, and I'm probably like, I was considering maybe going again in September, but like, since I'm trying to save money, and now it's August already, September's next month. The end of next month, my middle grandbaby, Lily will be 1. She'll be 1. And I was thinking of going then, but I'm probably not going to. I'm probably wouldn't go till December, probably. So I'm like, I can babysit. And now I can say, I'm a grandma. I'm a grandma. I'm a mom of 5. And I'm just like, because I'm looking for a little, like, they're kind of like side hustles, like, right? Because again, I got a regular job for a while. I proved I could do it, but good. Oh, thank you. Thank you for dropping that. Thank you, Diana. Oh, I don't see, this is what I used to do. I'm going to drop the video of me at my brother's, because I was watching the dogs too. It's another thing I was doing at my brother's, and what I would always do with Blue. I don't have any pets. I was at a point, after my kids were grown, maybe, or when my kids were teenagers, where I didn't want to babysit, and I liked pets better. But then after watching Blue, especially, Blue was high maintenance. Blue was a pain in the butt. And then everybody was scared of him. And I was watching him when COVID hit. And then I couldn't put my house for sale until we got him back up to St. Louis with Gladys. And then I could put my house for sale, because he was a pit bull and everybody was afraid of him. So let me see if I can find this video, because my brother's dogs are in it, from my brother's, and Boo is actually in some of my old videos too. But yeah, I don't want to pet sit. But when I was looking for a job in like 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, I probably could have found a job if I went to a daycare center. I probably could have. One of my Airbnb guests, who was a regular, reoccurring guest, Charity, worked at a daycare center, and I probably could have gotten a job at a daycare center, but I didn't want to. I worked with kids at my church for 20 years. For 25 years, I worked with kids at church. And that was too a reason why I was burnt out on it. It wasn't so much my kids, but I was burnt out on watching kids and babies. So I didn't look for a job doing that. So I say I couldn't find a regular job, but I probably could have found a regular job if I looked for a job at a daycare, but I didn't want to. I was looking for a job at a restaurant. I tried to get a job at BioLife where I gave blood plasma. I even interviewed there. I interviewed at some restaurants. I was not able to get a job. And it turned out fine because God was getting me out of Georgia, So, I look back at things and I was like, well, I wish I hadn't done that. And I had done this and I had said that and things with my kids, and I wish I had said this, and not said that. And things. And it's like, and I obsess over this. I do. And I have apologized to all my kids. Yeah, all of them. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, all of them. About various things. Sometimes maybe not all of the things, not, it's like so many mistakes. I can obsess over that. And I think if I would have done this and it's just like, if things went a different way too, and it's like, I don't know if I'd be here now or if I would have left, but I really felt like God was getting me out of Georgia, like the thing with not having a regular job and I was doing Airbnb. And so then that got very annoying. I thought several times about just having women and couples at my Airbnb because of things, and then being not feeling safe sometimes, and just there was a lot of things. And then this girl gave me a bad review, and it was really like unfair. And that was it, I was like, I am done, I was so depressed too in 2019. And then 2020 is when I was finally able to sell my house and leave Georgia. So, but let me read you the Anger is a River thing again, because it's so good. And so what happened was I stayed there at my brother's, my RV. We were thinking my brother got me thinking my RV was broken. My bumper was bent and I had his mechanic fix that. He had given me Joyce's red convertible car, but it was 2006. I remember it overheated one time, and two, I paid the tags on it. I paid for the repair on it. It was a 2006, and I sold my house during haven't you heard this story? Yes, I sold my house in Georgia during the pandemic. That was my plan. I was downsizing and everything. I had so much stuff. Like, I'm still going to do a video. I have so much. I have so much stuff on my phone. My son-in-law moved some of it onto my computer for me. And yeah, I have so much footage, photos, and stuff from when I was moving too, from back to 2020. So I need to do a video on it. I talk about it a lot of times because I had to downsize so much stuff. I talk about like throwing away my journals, and some of them I wish I hadn't thrown away. This is my current journal. It's from Abbey Road Studios. So oh, really? Cool. That's cool, Christina. Yeah. So yeah, by December 2020, I had made it to California. My dad had already passed. It took 2 years. That was in probate, and my brother was working on things with the lawyers out there. And so Joyce passed away, and I'm trying to find that video to share with you guys. Let me see. Oh, let me share the Klamath video. So I went back to Doggy Sit Blue after Joyce passed. I went back for a month and I left my RV at my brother's. Went to St. Louis, flew to St. Louis, flew back. Gladys and I went to Palm Desert. And that was when I went to the Alabama Hills. I went to the Alabama Hills with these two YouTubers. The one I was crushing on that ended up starting the bullying thing, with his friend bullying me, and it was just awful. Cool. Yeah, so that's a possibility for me too in February, because I'm thinking of, when I left Georgia, I fit everything I owned in my car because I decided to buy my RV up in St. Louis, which I did in October 2020. And then when I left St. Louis, I had collected a little bit more things. I sort of like downsized again, although I was staying in a room at Gladys's house. I hadn't bought any furniture. But I sold my RV in 2022 on Mother's Day, actually, 2022. And then early June, I bought my RAV4, and I fit everything I own in my RAV, and then I came here. And 2022 is also when I got the money from my dad, and then I got this apartment. Because I didn't have a job. I wouldn't have been able to get this apartment if I didn't have the money in the bank. So, because I didn't make enough money to even get in this apartment. So, but I really love this apartment. But it is too expensive. It is too expensive. So let me say a poem. I haven't said a poem for you yet, so let me say a poem for you. Here's one I wrote after being diagnosed bipolar and reading the book An Unquiet Mind by Kay Redfield Jamison. And I love these verses from Isaiah. I put these verses from Isaiah before it. Isaiah 43:2. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, nor shall the flames scorch you. That's from Isaiah 43. Why me? As Kay said, which of the me's is me? Am I the impulsive, excited one, or am I the depressed, quiet one? Why can't I just be normal? Perhaps that's just a setting on my dryer. When I'm high, I think everybody loves me. When I'm low, I think everybody hates me. Always I know God loves me, and that sustains me. This is the fire I have to go through. But he promises I won't be burned. There's always a reason for it all. Nothing is wasted, nothing at all. But I feel like trying to find a certain poem. And I can't find it. There's a lot of them I haven't read on here before, so I should read a different one. Oh, this one talks about feelings, so let me read this. Some of you might have heard this before. Oh, mine's $2,100. I've said it before. I'm always spilling beans. I'm spilling too much beans, Mary. So yeah. So another possibility for when my lease ends in February is for me to get a van. I don't like to sleep in my RAV, but see, I'm torn because I really love my RAV. I really do love my RAV. I'd like to get, but then I think if I'm going to do van life full time, I want to get a van I can stand up in. But if I'm going to keep doing part time, I will get like a minivan and get another like hybrid. But so really, I feel like it's the same as I was thinking of. Yeah, I really liked sleeping in my RV. I really did. I liked sleeping in my RV, but I didn't really like driving it, was the thing. I didn't like driving it as much as I like sleeping in it. And now I love driving my RAV, but I don't like sleeping in it. It's not comfortable to sleep in. But so like the average rent here is the same as like the average rent in San Diego. So it's a lot. This is Freya. Oh, you got to move your Starlink. Okay. Okay. We are at an hour. I need to say some more poems. I'm going to say, Yeah, since this mentions the emotions I'm talking about. But I want to read you the thing again on anger. So what I was talking about, anger is a river, and to let it flow. I read this before on my live a while ago, like 2021. Anger is a river. It wants to be released into the vaster ocean. It wants to move naturally. When we repress it with premature forgiveness, block it with false positivity, suppress it in the name of pseudo peace, we dam our natural flow. The river then turns inward against the self, or explodes outwardly against innocence. Better we express it when it arises, not in a way that is destructive to humanity, but in a way that is authentic and that restores the integrity of our being. Anger isn't the enemy. Misplaced anger is. Let the river flow. And that's what the song too. That's what the song The River by Aurora is about. And that's where I started with, like, you can cry is what she says in that song. And so what ended up happening is, did I share this video? You got to feed the ducks and the fish. Okay. Here's my video at Klamath. So I was in my brother's house for a little bit, and I needed to be when Joyce came home from the hospital and was home on hospice care. And oh no, that one didn't. Okay, it's doing that thing again, but I think I just tried to share it more than once. Yeah, I think that's what it's why it's doing that. I think I tried to hit it more than once. Yeah, that's what it's about. And it's from this, it's in this guy. I don't know who originally said it. I'm not sure if he originally said it, but it's in this guy's book. His name is Jeff Brown. I just ordered this on my Audible. I just ordered this on my Audible. It's an excerpt from his book, Ascending with Both Feet on the Ground. It's called Anger is a River. If you Google it, it comes up. I shared a post on Pinterest also. themindsjournal.com. It's on Pinterest. But if you just Google it, it comes up. I don't know if this works, but I'm going to try to share this pin on Pinterest. It came up when I Googled it. Tell me if that works. You made a savings challenge for my book. You're starting a stationary budgeting Etsy shop soon. That's cool. Little icons, $1. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That is very cool. So do you have content on your channel, Christina? Do you want me to make you a mod so you can share your channel? I'm trying to go to it. My computer is being annoying right now. Annoying. The link worked. Okay, cool. Awesome. That's awesome. So anyways, how I ended up at the river is I stayed at my brother's, and see, I was kind of torn because I kind of wanted to leave my brother's, but I was kind of scared I kind of did want to travel some more in my RV, and I was involved in the YouTube community that I eventually left that YouTube community, but I was involved in the YouTube community, and they were having a meetup up in Oregon in May, and they had courtside, but in the meetup in Arizona, but that was right after Joyce died, so I didn't go to that. And then in February, I went to Gladys's. I went back to St. Louis for a month, and during that month too, my channel was growing pretty good, and I started going live when I was in St. Louis too. I started going live in March. I was there from February till March 2021. I was in St. Louis for a month, and then I flew back and found out my electrical was fine. It just kept tripping up my brother's house, my brother's little house. It kept on going off. It kept on tripping up my brother's house, and then my electricity would go off. So he thought my RV was broken, but it wasn't my RV. It was his house couldn't handle my RV being plugged into his electricity. So I was back in my RV on my brother's property, not in his house anymore. And I was so glad to be back in my RV. Like, speaking of that, I was so glad to be back in my RV. And, and then I went to the Alabama Hill. Gladys and I went to, not in the RV, but we went to a timeshare of hers in Palm Springs. And then I went to the Alabama Hills in my RV and met up with these two YouTubers. That's when I was on the guy's live that I was crushing on. And that's when I was said, there's Red drunk on YouTube, one glass of bourbon. And I was a lightweight. I'm back to not drinking again. I'm sober just because there's so much alcoholism in my family, and I just don't. Diane and I had some great mocktails when I was at her house, but yeah, I don't. Yeah, part of my story is that my oldest brother died of heroin addiction in 2005, and he was on alcohol. He was alcoholic and on drugs most of my grown-up life. Sometimes he was good, and he sold tree. He was an arborist, actually. He's like, if you look me up in the phone, well, they used to have phone directory. I'm the only arborist in Hayward, California. But but because of him, and we were 15 years apart, we're 7 of us, and I'm the youngest and he was the oldest. And because of my brother, Tim, I didn't even try pot. I didn't even try pot. I mean, that's how, I can remember I was at Santa Monica Beach in California when I was like about 15. That was when I jumped off the pier too. And I tried cigarettes, but no, I didn't start smoking, but that was it. That was the one time I tried cigarettes, but I never even tried pot. Didn't drink most of the time, bringing up my kids, and then, just drank a little bit, for those 2 years I was away from God. And then I'm just like, decided to, I'm just like, no, I'm not. And saves a lot of money too. I'm like, hey, this is cheaper. This is cheaper. Buying soda is still expensive a little bit, but buying soda is cheaper than buying wine. So anyways, my RV life videos are on private right now. Mostly shorts. Okay. Okay. So, um, when I came back from St. Louis, so when my sister-in-law passed, my nephew moved into the big house. That was my niece and nephew had different ways of handling their grief, and that was my nephew's way. He moved back into the big house. And when he had a roommate in the little, and I went to St. Louis for a month. And then when I came back, my brother texted me and said he has this tenant living in his house and so on and so forth. And he's helping this person out. And it was his friend's mom. And so I met her and she seemed nice at first and but kind of peculiar. And so around April, it was like mid-April, and I had been having trouble. I had went to San Diego too. I had gone to the Alabama Hills. I had went to San Diego. I went to Coronado Island. I'm trying to find a video to share with y'all. Did I share the Klamath video? Yeah, I shared the Klamath video. So I went to Coronado Island one time and for like a few days. And I remember having trouble with my trouble with the electricity going out again, but I knew it wasn't my electric, it was my brother's house. Let me see if I can find the video from my brother's house. Here's another Klamath River one. Oh, I found it. Okay. I found the one where I was really depressed. It must have been January. And my brother's dogs are in this video. So, and I had been looking into suing the Page Publishing again. I had been looking into that. So video from 2021. And my brother's dogs are in there. It's my nephew and my brother's dog. So that's why I was kind of burnt out on dogs. And I rehomed my puppy, my little dog. She wasn't a puppy, but she was 4. And she was a failed foster. It's doing that thing again. I think I might be hitting the button like twice or something because it keeps doing that, which is weird. So, um, yeah. So this is how I finally ended up in Klamath. And because my brother came to my RV, and um, this woman, it turned out she accused me of filming her grandchildren. I think she sensed, because my brother and I, we didn't have a great relationship. I was closer to my sister-in-law than I was to my own brother. And we had a disagreement about something he said. And I finally um, called him out on it, because I'm the kind of person, like a people pleaser, codependent, where I just let stuff slide. And I'm just like, no, I'm not letting this slide because he shouldn't have said this. And so he brings that up. He digs up the past. He says that, did you? I don't think he believed her, because he asked me, did you film her grandkids? And I was like, no. And he got on and he threw all this stuff up in my face, and your kids aren't talking to you because I'm bad, and I'm like, yeah, do you know why? Because my exes turned them against me, right? And it was funny because at that time I was speaking to my oldest, and like right after I left there, like it was April, so the next month when I got into this, and I was just like, and something like this happened to me again recently, really. I was just sort of flabbergasted. I was like, really? This is what he's gonna do? After I was just taking care of your dying wife, and now you're gonna. And then what I didn't know is that he was getting involved with this woman, and his wife had just died, and he was getting involved with this woman too. And then she didn't like me, and so she's making crap up. And I had gone closer to the property and was on YouTube too, and he didn't like that. But it was, it's ridiculous. He thinks, like, he was kind of paranoid about um like I was on a lot, like these are little itty bitty channels, right? I was on somebody's live and they're like, where are you? And I said the name of the city. And so I got in trouble for all of this. He just threw everything at me. He threw and and then and it was so upsetting. It was so upsetting. And what I had just done is I had just gone and emptied my black tank. I had just got gas. I think I had just got propane too. It was all at this one little gas station. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go over here because I can do all this stuff. I can refill my propane, I can empty my black tank, I can get gas. And I had everything I owned still in my RV. I had left the house. I was in the house for like a month. I think I figured the whole year, when I was mostly living in my RV, it was about like half the year. It was like 31 weeks out of the year, from 2020 till 20, because some of that time I was in Gladys's house. When we were at Palm Springs, we were and some of the time I was at my brother's house. And but I was happiest when I was in my RV. So he gets upset at me, and then I go out and get onto him. So we had words, and I'm like, I think I'll just leave. Yeah, and he mentions like he wants me to go to a RV park, and I'm just like, really? I'm like, no, you want me to leave? I'm going. I'm traveling in my RV. Adios, And I was just like, yeah, it was really paranoid. It was really, he was, what I feel like a lot of times this has happened to me. And like it happened with the person at CR that didn't like me. They're grasping at straws. You know what I mean? It's like I don't like, my siblings, especially my two remaining siblings, have been jealous of me like their whole life. So I'm like, I'm the youngest, I'm the baby, and I'm sorry. I couldn't really help that. um, yeah, and she made stuff up. She made stuff up. And my brother, it didn't take much for my brother to not, was not happy with, he didn't really want me there. When I was taking care of his wife, it was fine. And I wasn't really cooking I had just made cupcakes. I made cupcakes for the YouTuber I was crushing on that ended up, he really started the whole thing with the bullies and turned this whole YouTube community against me. Because there were things, there were things said and stuff. And, but I originally and I'm still on his channel, but all these channels are little tiny itty bitty, like 1,000, they just got monetized, and they're not making it. These people, I looked around recently at some of these channels, and they don't go live anymore. They don't even go live anymore. And they're not working on their channels anymore. So, I don't know. And, so anyways, so I got into it with my brother and I left, and I didn't even know where I was going. It was funny. I was driving, and I usually didn't drive my RV at night, and I was driving at night, and I was just driving north, and I was going up to the Bay Area. So I had my grandparents, my aunts, uncles, cousins all lived up in the Bay Area. My grandparents have passed away, but I still had cousins and aunts up there, and an uncle. And so I was headed up to the Bay Area, and I didn't contact. I had my one aunt that I wanted to maybe see. We have not fallen out of touch. It's COVID. When I got to LA, I didn't say this, but when I got to LA, everything was shut down. And Joyce was trying to, Joyce is just she's a hoot. I miss her. Especially when, my brother got on I was just like, oh my goodness. Oh, he even tried to say oh, Joyce didn't want you to be staying here, and I'm just like, wow, that's really cold, that's a really cold thing to say. She's not even here to yay or nay that. Yeah, and I'm sure she wanted you to get involved right away. As soon as I die, get with the first woman you find. But I didn't even imagine that. I didn't even think that wasn't even going through my mind. I was just and then later on, I was just even my friend, I ended up in Oregon in May, and I went to the Alsea Falls. I went to the meetup, and I met my friend Nomadic Rat Pack, and he's a hoot too. I mooch stalked at his house, but he said a lot of really low things, to throw up that my kids aren't talking, and my kids were talking to me. And my daughter sent me a text message and was like, where do I send your Mother's Day gift? And I was like, I'm headed up to Oregon. I don't know. I'm like, I was in Coos Bay. I think I was in Coos Bay. Brenda and I talked about Coos Bay. I think I was in Coos Bay by that time because it was May. And I was like, send it to your brother. Send it to Denver because I'm going there next. I was going to Denver in June. I decided to be in Denver in June and stay in Oregon for May. Oh, I loved Oregon. It was so beautiful. Bye, Diana. Thanks for coming in. Thanks so much. So yeah, so this is when I left, and so yeah, so I was angry. So I was angry, and I'm driving, and I usually don't drive my RV at night, and I'm driving, and I'm driving, and my RV would shake like this when I was driving. It would shake, and I had two TVs in my RV, and one was like by the dinette table. It was in front of the dinette table, and one I never watched them, and one was in the back by the bed. So I'm driving. I'm driving. It's nighttime. I think it was in that place where they have the garlic festival because you drive through it in Northern California and it smell. I was on the 101. It smells like garlic. Crash! Boom! I hear this crash. My TV came loose and fell onto my dinette. I didn't even stop. I kept driving. I was like, when I stopped, I saw that my TV had fallen onto the dinette seat. And I went to a Walmart. I think I was in San Jose. As soon as I pulled in, they were like, "You can't park here, but you can park over there." There was somebody already at. It was a Best Buy that was across the way. That was like two parking lots across from each other, and I had looked up on my app, the Walmart. Yeah. That's it. I think that's it. Somewhere around Gilroy, my TV crashed. It was so loud. And I just kept on driving. I was mad. Actually, I was mad. I was mad. And when I got to the river, oh my goodness. First, I went to Half Moon Bay, and that's where I had the bubbles coming out the top of my RV. Because I put so much Dawn dishwash soap down the potty that bubbles came out of the top of my RV. Then I left. Hi, Granny. Hi, Lori. I always put let me see. I'm making my list, my prayer list. Okay. So then I'm at Half Moon Bay, and then I keep going north, and I hardly ever went up. We hardly ever went up that way because we would always go from LA to San Francisco, LA to San Francisco, LA to San Francisco, LA to San Francisco. I went into a bad part of San Francisco, and there was, and I was going to stay at this RV place and RV park, but it was like an RV graveyard outside of the RV park. I was in Candlestick, and then I heard that this was a COVID hotspot, and it's the place where all these broken down RV homeless people live on the streets. And these RVs, they don't run. They're like dilapidated. It's like an RV graveyard. And I was like, I don't really want to stay here. And then I found, thank you for being here. We're happy you're here. I'm like, I don't want to stay here. Even though I was going to be in the RV park, it was going to be different. But I was like, I don't think I'd ever been to that part of San Francisco. And I've been all over San Francisco because we used to always go there. My uncle worked for the San Francisco Chronicle for so many years, and he would take us on a tour. We'd go. We wouldn't go to that bad parts of San Francisco, though. I was like, what's this? What is this? This is not where I wanted to be. And so then I left there, and then I ended up at the river. And it was just healing for me to be at that river. And because I was so angry. And last year, yeah, I think it was last year, I decided you stayed there once. Yeah, I don't know if it was called, it was right by Candlestick. That RV park used to be nice. So the broken down RVs weren't in the RV park. I just didn't even go in the RV park. I just found the state park. I found Half Moon Bay. And see, I can have a, what state were you in? I was in California. I'm talking about when I was in California. And when I left, I'm talking about releasing anger, and that how, like, God really spoke to me when I was at my brother's and taking care of my sister-in-law. And when I heard the song at the Albertsons, and I just started crying when I heard the Need to Breathe song. And then my brother and I got into a disagreement, and he wanted me to leave. And it was because of this woman that was staying in his house. And I didn't know that they were involved. And I was just so mad. But the good news is he finally broke up with her. And I confronted him about, because he used to hit me all the time. He was abusive to me. And I finally just, I'm like, well, what do I expect? You know, he's still abusive to me as he was in the past when I was little. Because he used to hit me, my parents would do nothing. And I always thought, like, what's wrong with me? It's like me, I'm bad. Like my brothers would call me brat. They think I'm a t-shirt said brat. You know, and it hurt my feelings. And I cried. And my mom's like, oh, don't, it's just, they're just kidding. And don't feel, you know, but that's how I was. I so wanted my older siblings to like me. And that was that was codependency in the making. And you know, they were abusive to me, honestly. So I wrote him and confronted him, and all this said, all this, I just let it all out. I wrote to him, and I ended with, I can't believe I'm going to say something nice, but I ended with this. I said, and one of the things I said was, Joyce would be rolling over in her grave if she saw what you were doing and who you're with. You know, I forget exactly how I put it, but I mean, she'd be rolling over. I mean, she was cremated, but she'd be rolling over in her grave if she was in one and she, you know, can see what you did. So I ended the letter with, I can't believe I'm going to say something nice, but you can do better than that. You were with Joyce for 30 years. My brother was married 30 years. Like I was married 30 years, only I got divorced and his wife passed away. So, and really he is the most like responsible, like in our family. I always felt like I had the most in common with him. Like the other ones, like they didn't go to church. We both went to church. You know, he was a police officer. I was, you know, goody. We're both goody two shoes. I would say like, you know, our family were, there are 7 of us, like they're all the black sheep and we were the white sheep of the family. That's the way I kind of felt about my brother and I. And, you know, I never ever mentioned to him, like, you know, I was just like, oh, that's in the past. You know, he doesn't hit me anymore. Not with his fists anyways. But yeah, I confronted him, and after that they did break up. Thankfully, I heard from my niece, and I was like, good. I'm like, and this is what I told him. So maybe he listened, maybe he took it to heart, because I was like, Oh, and because I laid into him. I never had confronted him about any of it. Yeah, I wrote a letter to my, yeah. Yeah, I get that. No, we would just hang up on each other. I stopped. I stopped writing letters to her long ago. Well, she sent it back to me. But yeah, um, yeah. But anyways, uh, but my brother did facilitate the stuff with my dad's estate. So when I left there, I didn't say a whole lot when I left there. When I wrote him the letter, I had already thankfully gotten, and the money from my dad was delayed. And I got on YouTube and said, because I felt like they were doing it on purpose because they both paid me, especially after that. And so I said, I got on YouTube and said, I don't want to have to sue my siblings, but if I have to, I will. And then I finally just had them mail it, and because it was a ridiculous thing. And in the middle of that, I had gotten tickets to which was cool. I was talking to my son, and when he was still living here in Denver, and I had got tickets to One Republic, and I got my son to go with me, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to think about it anymore. I just kept praying, and I had just given them my son's address because I was at my son's then. I hadn't gotten an apartment yet, and that weekend we went to One Republic, and it was great. And like we didn't talk about it. I'm like, forget it. Let's just wait and see. I just gave them an address because they're like, what's the wire number? What's the you were off in California because I went to Glow meetup, and I was in California again in 2022 when yeah, I wasn't really that bad. I wasn't really. They were horrible to me, and they were horrible to my brother too, and that's why he bullied me because the older ones bullied him, and I witnessed it too. And then he bullied me, and my sister bullied me, and my brother. I remember my brother Paul and my brother and my sister would call each other they called each other Bertha and Blimpo, and like my parents like didn't do anything. Like I think they were too exhausted having 7 kids in the 70s. I mean, well, in the 50s and 60s. And I think they were too tired. They're really too tired to do anything. So yeah, it was just bad. It was bad. And I wasn't, how like you're in denial, and like that's what has helped me going through the Lisa A. Romano class on codependency. And she says, it's not you, it's your programming. Did I share her link before? I think I did, but I'll share it again. Lisa A. Romano. The Breakthrough Life Coach. So this has helped me because what? Let me see. Did that copy it? I don't know if that did or not. No, that's not it. There's a website. Yeah, she says like it talks about that, like you're in a yeah, see they weren't. Yeah, the parents get spread pretty thin. Yeah, 11 now. Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, my brothers didn't. No. No. Yeah, that's what Lisa A. Romano teaches. So, yeah, that's what Lisa A. Romano teaches. Yeah, she teaches a lot about it. So, anyways, so I was at the river and I felt like it was so healing. And then I discovered that Aurora song. And it was like I would play it on repeat and I would hike to the river every other day. And it would be 5 miles because it was like 2.5 miles there and 2.5 miles back. And I would go to where the river went into the ocean. And it was just so healing. I love it there. That's the river song. But yeah, I would listen to that song over and over again. And let me share another video from Klamath. Let me share another video from Klamath. Oh, and I wonder if I can find that. It wasn't popular though. I don't know if I can find it. I washed my RV when I got to the river. Don't know if I can find that one. I have so many shorts. I have too many shorts for me to find the short where I'm washing the. But let me share another one from Klamath in the chat. Wait. So anyways, it was another situation where I left. I feel like I was running. But then I was like, should I have stayed? Should I have, and I was like, no, I did need to leave. I maybe should have left sooner. Maybe then the fight would not have happened if I just left. I'm sharing it on my community tab too. It was so nice. I would walk to the ocean every yeah, that's what Lisa talks about too, waking up. Yeah, I feel like forgiveness is important too. And I do. And I mean, that doesn't mean that I talk about things on here, but that doesn't mean I haven't worked through forgiving people. And like, I pray for these people all the time. I pray for the people in my family. I pray for my children. I pray for the bullies. I pray for all of them, and and I feel like it's an ongoing thing, because sometimes too, like sometimes some people do things to you again, and then, but I'm very particular about who I hang around anymore. Like, I talk about my dad, and I was limited contact with my dad. I had seen my dad in 2018, but that was the last time I saw him, and then he passed in 2020. But I was limited contact with him. My siblings, he tried to throw that out, and he had her one time, after I got the money, he had her text me, and I'm just like, why do you think I would, like, I don't care anymore what you think, but I mean, you're my brother, but I care, like, not at all. And you know what she said to me? It was funny. She called me trailer trash. My niece is like, she's projecting. And I'm like, yeah, kind of. And my son was like, Mom, have you ever lived in a trailer? And I was like, no. I was living in my RV, so I'm trailer trash. And she said I was ugly inside and out. And I was just like, okay. I just blocked her. I blocked my brother too. I just blocked her. But here's a video of Klamath. So oh, when they were abusive, there's lots to forgive. With your family crap, though, there's nothing to forgive. There's a whole lot to forgive with and I might do he might. I wouldn't know. He would pretend like he's not. I think that the family member that there's a family member that stalks me. I don't really want to even say more than what sort of family member they are. I don't want to. Yeah, and I know they do. She might contact him and tell him what I'm saying. So, but it doesn't really matter. He could, but whatever. People who have low self-esteem and self-worth don't know what to expect themselves. Yeah, but if you suffer abuse, you would need to forgive. But all experts don't agree on that. Like Dr. Ramani says, you don't have to forgive. And that's, I mean, I think she's seeing it in a different way, though, because you can forgive and not reconcile, and forgiveness is for yourself. Thank you. Thank you, Granny. But let me say a poem and let me say the love poem. Let me say that. Let me say one, because this is my book from 2015. So yeah, the person that stalks me, though, see, Glenn, people can make YouTube channels and watch, you know, he wouldn't put his name, you know. If he was watching, it would be on someone other's account. It doesn't really matter. Um, so okay, Christina, I'm almost at 2 hours, so I'm gonna say another poem and pray and let you guys go. But I just wanted to talk to you guys about the river. So yeah, like I uh go no contact with them, and like I I have thought about it. I don't know, but I probably mostly would not reconcile with them, but I do need to forgive them. Like if I ever, you know, and I've thought about this lately because I was having a discussion with somebody, and a lot of times yeah, becoming a hard target. Yeah. See, I was, you know, I'm a recovering codependent. So I did have low self-esteem. See, this is what I was talking about before. That's what made me a target for the bullies, and a target for abuse, you know? And I'm just like, I'm done. I'm done now, you know? And talking to someone, you know, about recently about forgiveness and about stuff and apologizing and all that, and I'm like, hmm, yeah, someday on here, maybe Monday, I wanted to talk about the story of Joseph. So maybe on Monday, I was going to talk about red flags tonight, and then I changed it to this, to talk about anger and emotions and stuff, because I feel like it's really helpful. And so yeah, isn't that what you mean, like a hard target, like becoming, like, as a codependent, I was too affected by what everybody else was thinking about me and feeling. And that's why, too. And that's why I was so reactive. I would get, Lisa talks about that. Lisa Romano talks about that too. You know, so reactive. They'd say something at me, and then I'd say something at them, and they'd do something to me, you know, and even, you know, my kids being disrespectful. And then I say something back, and then I'm sorry I said that. And, you know, I'm hearing about it years later. Well, you hurt me, and I apologized. And but maybe they don't remember that I apologized. I don't know. But and then we were talking about being hard to get along with, and I thought about that, and I was like, I don't really think that's a problem for me. I honestly don't. And because you're like, I was married 27 years, I tried to do and be what my husband wanted. You know what I mean? I'm a people pleaser. I have the opposite problem. I put up with too much bullshit. You guys, I blocked somebody that was here last week because they don't come very often, and they were really involved in all that stuff. And I was like, why did I, you know, I'm like, I should have blocked that person a long time ago. Because, you know, they hardly ever came to my channel, and I felt like they were just stirring up trouble. And, you know, when I thought about it, I was like, they did this and they did that. And like, why am I still putting up? You know, I'm like, I put up with too much for too long, and usually don't say anything. And it's like, hard to get along with is not really how I would describe myself usually. And I'm usually having like all these people. I mean, I'm really very careful though. I'm very careful now with who I connect with. And I'm having so many people, you know, want to connect with me, and sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I don't know you. I'm very careful, you know. You started with this a year ago, semantics. I feel a deep dive coming on. Oh, hard target. You're a hard target. Yeah, and I feel like I'm getting better. I'm knowing more who I am and um, liking myself, loving myself. That's what like my little tea bag said. My little be kind to yourself. My positive energy tea. My hibiscus tea. Hard to get along with is a classic projection statement. Yeah, I'm like I get along. I had 7 siblings. I let them beat on me. I was married 27 years to a narcissist. I'm not hard to get along with. I was too easy to get along with. Hello. Yeah, you have to be. I have to be. I'm like I need some ninja boundaries. Because I'm reading my journal from last year, and I'm just like I was still getting involved with some people, and I'm just like, I think I need to back away from this person because they're not good energy. Um, you know. Plus, I don't need to be on the phone for 3 hours at all, especially not with someone that I'm realizing like red flags. We'll still get to that. We'll still get to that subject, red flags. Maybe Monday. Um, but yeah, and I was just like, no, I'm like, I need to back away from this person. Um, you mustn't have to, hi, Paul. You mustn't have to love yourself first before you could ever love someone else. Otherwise, it's not true. Yeah, exactly. Because the Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Right? That's something that Joyce Meyer talks about all the time, too. Yeah, I'm finally comfortable living alone. I am so comfortable living alone. I am. I am glad to live alone now. Yeah. Let me read my that 4-letter word poem. Okay. That 4-letter word. It's never in vain. It all matters, no matter how small an act. A kind word, a smile, a hug, a cup of cold water. I have it in a photograph, a letter, a scrap of paper, a meal, a memory, a bowl of chili. Chicken salad, peach ice cream, and red velvet cupcakes, chocolate and roses. It speaks your language. It's a gift, a movie, a lightsaber, a new hope. It's a verb, it's a noun, it's an adjective, it's profound. It's encouragement and motivation. It's harder than you thought, yet it makes everything easier. Like E.T., it phones home. It's more wonderful than you knew and worth everything you put in. It hangs on, it never quits, even if you let go of it. It can hurt sometimes. It can't stay mad. It works and tries. It bleeds and cries. It doesn't lie. It apologizes, gives and forgives. It's the only thing we take with us when we die. Yet it makes us feel alive. It always hopes, believes, trusts. It never fails. And even if you're away a while, it waits for you to come home. That's from my new book of poetry. I've put up a lot of boundaries. You will never understand the love yourself concept? Oh, come on. You don't understand the love yourself concept? Well, like, do you brush your teeth? Do you sleep? Do you feed yourself? Yeah, I've put up a lot more boundaries, and I don't always like say so. Like sometimes um sometimes I feel like, like I said, I had 2 different people last year that I sort of got into a friendship with, and then I was like, oh, I see too many red flags and too many things. And one person I did have a disagreement about something that was going on in my life and really wasn't any of their business. And she was telling me what to do, and she was making me more anxious about it, and I was already anxious about it. Yeah, I like being alone with my own choices, not being told what to think or do. Oh, you don't? I like to make my own choices. Um, Never is a strong statement. Never about what? And you never understand. Love yourself concept. I'm not getting what you're getting at. But okay. Um yeah, I got to the point where I didn't even like know what I wanted. And like I almost feel like my children were. I was listening to Joyce Meyer thing today on faith, which is really good. I'll probably share it on my community tab, where Christine Kane was talking about like idols, where we and she, oh, it really hit me. Well, it really hit me hard, but I knew already that was what I had done. So I got angry at God because my daughters weren't talking to me. And I realized later, like I had put them up as idols. So I was so I so wanted that relationship. I didn't have that connection with my husband, and I poured everything into my kids. I poured they were my life. My children were my life, and it wasn't healthy. It wasn't healthy. Your children can't be your whole life, and it's I I see my daughter doing. I mean, they're just babies though. Like when they're babies, they are your whole life, and you just like I just continue that. I feel like they were, and then they're playing soccer. They're in high school. They're in college. They were like, and I had them as idols, and it's like you have this thing, you have them, you're mad this thing didn't work out, and so then you get mad at God. And Christine Kane was going like, well, you had this thing above God, and that wasn't right. So yeah, I'm gonna pray and let you all go. And I have my list here. Hey Eric, how are you doing? I'm just finishing up. Put you on my list. Thanks for popping in. But anyways, I hope this was helpful. It's helpful. It's really healing for me to talk about these things. And so I hope it's beneficial to y'all. And I'm going to pray and let you go. Dear Lord, please be with Bren and be with her as she cares for her mom, and bless her and her family. And thank you for her. And be with Christina above always, and bless her and be with her as she travels, and keep her safe. And bless her family. Bless Mary. Help her in her renovations and stuff, Lord. Keep her safe as she travels. Bless her family. I pray for Glenn and that you be with him. Thank you for the blessing he is to my channel, Lindy's channel. Please be with Brenda Berner. Keep her and her husband safe and bless them as they travel. Bless her family, her kids, and her grandkids. Please be with Diana. Please let her art show go well on Facebook. Thank you for her channel and her friendship and the painting. I pray you bless her. And please bless Lori and be with her and her family and bless her, plus Paul and Lisa. And thank you for them. And please bless Eric and be with him and his family. And I pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. We're good, Eric. How are you? All right, I'm gonna let you guys go. Don't say that no one cares for you, because I do, and God does too. Don't forget to pray for Red, because Red is praying for you. And don't forget, I'm going live Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 5:30 Mountain Time, which is 4:30 Pacific Time, 6:30 Central Time, and 7:30 Eastern Time. All right. Good night. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much. Good night.